and this is Parkitect. Welcome back. I do appreciate you joining me. Today, as promised, we're doing path covers. Now you can see we've got Parkitect Nexus pulled up here. This is where you can get all the mods for Parkitect. They are free, and you're going to look for the Path Essentials mod set. Let's get a new game started here. We're going to start with a brand new park just so it's not cluttered, and I can show you the magic of path covers. So first thing we're going to do is turn off the peeps. Don't need peeps, just going to show you the paths. Otherwise, they'll be wandering around the paths. So we're going to start off by laying down some regular paths, just like you would in any regular game. Just throw them out here, a couple crosses, and you're going to start to notice, looks like we're playing Sim City, doesn't it? It's just, you know, the regular paths, they're honestly not that attractive. And you'll see here, I'm going to build this out a little bit. Notice that you cannot color the regular paths either. Now I'm building this big square just to show you, a lot of parks have big open areas in their paths. But without these path covers, you're not going to be able to make them look attractive. So let's go down here. Let me show you in the drop downs here. Here's the path cover area. We got fences, borders, and the actual path covers themselves. So let's start off. I want to make a big area so you get these strange looking pieces, but watch what happens. You hold Alt down and you see how you can kind of join these paths together. And you'll notice there are still some areas where it's not covered either by a path or by the path cover, but that's what the other pieces are for. Don't be afraid of these interesting looking pieces. So here's the main path cover. This is the regular, just cover up a square path. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill this all in. One thing that you need to know about these path covers is that they go on top of the path. They are just just a fraction of a unit in the game above the path. Now you will see that I here added the real path under the path covers to come out past that square we made. Now you see there's a little piece there. Also notice when I go to these smaller path covers to cover up just the small areas, I might have to hold Alt 4, not F4 like I said last time, to make the grid smaller. You can make the grid 1, 2, 3, or 4. Generally, it's either default or 4 to make it work. Now, here's the path cover. See how it fits there? And here's the border. This is why we have the path covers touching between the paths and not overlapping them to make it a perfect circle. It's because these borders here, they're like, a little curb. These are the same size as the covers themselves, and if you used the larger path cover and went a perfect circle, then when you put these borders on, this is the only curve that's going to fit. It would cover up the actual path itself. And here I'm showing you these borders can be pulled up. It's a little finicky sometimes, but if you hold the Shift key while you're holding the Alt key to make sure it snaps to the right place, the Shift key to pull it up, that's not going to work for a lot of things, but it will work to make like a planter in the middle, which is why we left this empty area here. And you just go up here to the smallest. Yes, they're numbered 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the size. And we'll put these down and then we'll pull them up. That looks pretty good. Now we want to cover that up, but there's a problem. See, I've got these little green spaces popping out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these quarter circles, fill that in, and then these little edge triangles and fill that in. That way when we color it, only the part in there gets colored green. Now, the issue with this is right now a lot of scenery. In fact, most of the plants and things, even that big mushroom won't work. I could put a tree in there. It looks kind of silly, but you can't pull them up. You can't raise them up. Now, if you make a larger section, you can actually pull up the terrain. We haven't talked about terrain editing yet. And you try to do this, see how it's not working. You put that in there and it's kind of hanging out. But there is one thing that works. These palm trees, which is a different mod, come pretty big. And if I put these palm trees in here, they actually look pretty good, at least if I got them centered. So let's go ahead and try again. We'll get kind of overhead and put them down. Look at that. That looks nice. Now you see this junk on the ground? If you just put a path down and then delete it, all those plants stay gone. That has been a question I've gotten a couple times, because it's kind of annoying when you put this path down, this path cover. Because the cover isn't an actual path, it's important to note that the people will only walk along the actual path itself. The cover is just, it's like paint. It's not really there as far as the peeps are concerned. What this also means is that when we're putting down benches, they're only going to go on the edges where there's actual path, not the path cover. See, that's where the path ends. And over here, we could put it here, but it doesn't go there because there's no path there. Remember, on the other side, we put a little bit of an extra path there, and that's why we can get it right here. Can't do that on this side because we don't have an actual path there. Now you can also put these around, because there is a path edge in the middle, we can put it in the middle as well. Now I'm looking here trying to see what I want to do, but let's take a look at making this work. Now you'll see, if I zoom in, you see that little piece that's hanging out? That's what I was talking about, as far as it doesn't quite exactly fit if you put that last little piece in there. I'll be honest though, you're not going to notice it in the game. It's so small, and if you're not zoomed all the way in, and even if you are zoomed all the way in, if you make your park look good, you'll probably never notice it. There's a solution, but I think the solution's worse than the problem. The solution is to get another path cover, and it took me a minute here to find which one would fit, but the only one that'll really fit along that angle is just to go to the next largest path cover outside circle, which is this one here. And you could put this one down and it will cover that little space, and you can match it to the color of the grass. Mostly, there's no texture to it, so it's just a plain color, but you can make it where it's practically invisible. And I picked the wrong one there. It's the 3, but here we go. And you can make that work. That'll cover it up. But here's the problem. If we zoom in, not only is that going to be a really big area that might get noticed even if you color it pretty well, but there's edges here. You see these edges? The path covers aren't perfectly flat. You can see that edge, and that's going to be a lot more noticeable than that little itty bitty flat piece of concrete. So let's not do that. We'll just leave it the way it is. And oh, where's my camera gone? And let's just finish this up. We'll put a couple more pieces of path under here on the other side so we can have the benches match up on both sides. And we'll put the benches down here. And yeah, they're not right along the circular path. That's just a limitation of the game engine right now. That's the way it is. We'll deal with it. It still looks pretty cool. So we put these down, and we can also, as I said, put them right here in the middle, because if you remember, there's a square there, and we could put the benches down. It's just a nice shaded seating area. You can even see the shade. They recently added default ambient occlusion, where you actually get some neat shadows. Also got to put down some trash bins. I'm going to use these brown ones here. Now, you don't want to put them on top of your benches. They just don't look good. I mean, in real life, they would be more off to the side, and honestly, I don't want my knees poking into a trash can. So we'll just put them here, and we'll do more on the top here. This'll look good. It's fine. I mean, would I like to have it on the edge? Yeah, probably, but we got to work with what we have. So that looks amazing. Now, one of the benefits to path covers is that you can color them. Now, you can make it any color you want, but I find the regular paths are a little bit of a light color. If you notice here on the spectrum, while I color this in, it's a blue. It's a little bit of a blue, down gray, but there's still quite a bit of blue in there. And the reason I do that is it just looks more like a regular dark, I want to call it a tarmac. My love for airplanes and all things flight coming out, but it just looks a lot better than that light gray. Now, if you do nothing else, I'm going to color these in here just to make it look more uniform. But if you do nothing else, let's say that you look at this and you say, yeah, I can make circles, and you can make all kinds of things. It's like a little erector set. You got to figure out how it fits together best. But if you do nothing else, at least use these little corner pieces. See these little corner pieces? You have to hold Alt F4. You'll notice that the grid, when I'm doing this, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to do 4 when you're putting down something that doesn't quite match up. And you can do a medium one like I did, a larger one. You can even go crazy and make the curves like this on the inside. You know, so the last one was a positive curve. This is a negative curve. And if you do nothing else, go ahead and try at least these little corner pieces. Now, you don't even have to go to that second one that's a little bigger. I mean, if you could just do, let me get rid of the really small one in this one here, and just go to this this large single corner indent and just put that down. That is so easy. Anyone can do that. And look how great it is. Let me finish this up here by coloring. Just drag the colors over. And look at that. Finish this up. This just looks amazing, and anyone can do that. I'm going to put some border down just to finish it up, and you'll notice I'll put the straight border down, and then I'll get the small inside curve to finish up the smooth corner I made. But anybody can do it. You know, making the circle, it's a little finicky and it takes a little getting used to. But I know you can do this other one, and that just looks so much better than having those Sim City skylines kind of path. It's amazing. Please use path covers in your next park. It makes all the difference. And when you add this in with the rest of your rides and everything, it's amazing. Next time, I'm going to show you how you can use path covers to spice up your rides. That's right. They can be used on the rides. You're going to love it. I appreciate you watching the videos. Please click the like button. Do appreciate it. Subscribe. You can get all my content when it comes out. You'll be notified. Leave a comment down below. As always, I appreciate you listening. I'm Mike James. This is Parkitect, and I hope you have a good one.